Hi, hello everyone. My name is Lisa. I'm doing this first YouTube video going live because I believe that someone needs to hear the message here. Today's topic of discussion is about grief and why it's important to heal. Let's talk about grief and let's talk about the shutdown because I know that sometime in February of 2020, um, many of us were probably at work, going about our daily activities, and then all of a sudden, boom, everything shut down. And with no notification, we were just told everything was shutting down stores, businesses, our place of employment, everything. And we were shut down for nearly a year. And the reason why I'm doing this video today, because during that shutdown, which we had never seen in I don't know how long, um, what happened is that a lot of people lost their life due to COVID-19. At the time of the shutdown, we didn't know much about it. We just knew that the only time we were allowed out was to go shopping, food shopping, and back home. And many of those who were compromised health wise were told to not even go out at all to have someone do their shopping for them. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this because I lost a lot of people myself during a shutdown. One of them was my mother, who was in a nursing home. And I'm talking about grief today because somebody needs to hear this message who's currently going through grief and they need to know how to get through it. So I'm doing this live video for those who are going through this situation currently. My mother died in a nursing home. The doctor called me and my sisters to say that talk with your mother for the very last time because she's not going to be around much longer. So I had that last conversation with her, which was a lengthy one. She was able to recognize who I was, and we were able to have a conversation, even though she was in and out, um, slowly, going in and out. I don't know if consciousness or not, but it was very, very difficult because I wasn't able to leave Massachusetts to go to New York because of the situation with the shutdown. And then during the shutdown, she passed away, and it was difficult. Not only did I lose my mother, I lost friends during the shutdown, and also my dog passed away. Now, for a lot of people, this may not mean anything, but it does mean something to those who are grieving because grief is a bitch. Let me tell you, it really is because it comes upon you when you least expect it. And when you think that you've gotten through it, and then you see a picture, you hear some music, or you see a show that remind you of a particular loved one, spouse, etc., even your pet, and then you say to yourself, okay, you try to compose yourself, but somewhere down the line, wherever you are, you may break down. I know I did even after the shutdown. When I realized I couldn't call my mother anymore to talk to her, because I did talk to her about things that was going on in my life. She would listen, give advice, etc. She really would. And I didn't have that anymore. And we had to have an online service for her because there was no funeral. Because when she passed away, her body was taken from New York to be buried in North Carolina, and we had a memorial service probably a day or so after she was laid to rest, and it was really difficult. And there was some times that I picked up the phone to call her because I forgot, and then I started breaking down to cry. There was time um, where I would be in a store and see a picture or something that reminded me of my mother, and I would just leave the store in tears. Or I would be around the friends I had at that time, and I would just break down and cry, and they didn't understand that. And if you have not gone through grief like that, the person is not crazy. Then there's nothing wrong with the person. They are grieving a loved one. And no one really has the right to tell you how long you should grieve someone. Excuse me. They should never say that because it's a process and everybody grieve in their own way. but yet you are never the same because of it. And people say, oh, people are going to die or whatever. That's a cold attitude to have. And because of that, I have gotten rid of a lot of people out of my life because they didn't understand what I was going through. Even some people saying, oh, she's a little mental. No, it's not. It does affect you. But grief can come upon you at any given moment when you least expect it, wherever you are. And it's important to be around people who understand that and who support you. Get yourself into a support group because I had to do that. A support group of people like yourself who are grieving, because hearing experiences from other people and what they do to help the process will help you as well. Never isolate yourself and never allow yourself to go into a depression because it can affect you mentally. You're never the same, and it's important to keep your environment positive no matter what. Be around positive people, things that you love to do, engage in that so that you don't get into this depression. And therapy is important. Some people may not believe in therapy, thinking that it's for people who are emotionally unstable. That's not true at all. I mean, as I grew up, I realized myself as well as other people have grew up in environments where your family would say, what happens in this house stays in this house. That's no longer the case today. Because if you don't talk about things and address it, it's just going to escalate. So it's always important to address these things. It makes you feel better. It helps you to heal. The healing process is so important, everyone. Give it time, allow healing, and allow yourself to grieve, because it's a loss, especially when it's a parent. When I lost my dad, it was hard enough, but my mother was just really enduring the shutdown and then losing other friends. And it's just difficult. And one of the things that, I realized with a lot of other people, that they were losing people who were not sick during the shutdown. They would get the COVID, and then whether they were compromised health wise or not, they would get the COVID, and then they would pass away. There was one woman who was married to the love of her life, and her husband was really healthy and all. And he got COVID, and about a month later, he was gone. And this is, during that time, a lot of people lost loved ones. And like I said, you never get over it, but you do get through it. I promise you that. I have been getting through it. One of the things that helped me too is removing people out of my life who did not understand what was going on with me and who didn't care to understand it. Because believe me, when you lose someone who's so important to you, it takes time to heal. You'll grieve, you don't want to be around people, etc. But it's important to do the work. And when I say work, therapy, talking to a therapist, going to a grief support group, all these things help. I promise you, in time, it gets better. And if someone decides to tell you, oh, it's been a year or so, you're still grieving over that, no, don't listen to that because everyone grieves in their own time frame. We all are people and we grieve, it's a process. No one has a right to tell someone that they shouldn't grieve, they shouldn't still be grieving a loved one. Because, like I said, we all heal in different ways. But make sure that you're talking about it, you're getting yourself the help that you need so that you can get through it. You never get over it, but you can get through it. Time helps all of us. So I'm posting this video because somebody needs to hear this message today because somebody's really going through it, or a few somebodies, and they really need to hear this message today. In the future, I'm going to be posting more messages like this. So please listen, share this video with others, especially those who really need to hear this message. And I'll be back next week posting a new video. And thank you those for listening and logging in to this video today. Thank you and have a good day.